Afternoon. Yeah, early evening. Almost 4:30. Friday here in Japan. Actually, it became so cold compared to the last few days. The weather has been very strange, as each one of us probably sensing in your local that the global warming and then all these changes, and particularly I was noticing that this week has been very warm, like a record. And then the earthquake hit really big. So it's just and then full moon this day and raining and cold. It's the very moody as a Mother Earth it seems like, and I am aligning to her moodiness today. So I almost not coming up here, but I thought it's a good idea to just to connect here from Twitter joiner, YouTube joiner. Thank you for subscribing up there. I am not so much advertising, but yeah, you're so kind to subscribing over there. It's still on the experiment stage, but thank you for noticing and connecting over there too. So today I would like to pick the card for this full moon. Normally I would like to do the ritual for the full moon to create the list to what we like to let go of, no longer serving, and then list of what we like to welcoming as a goal wishes for the next cycle. And then I want to do that tomorrow after the full moon night sleep and then get clear about that. This moon seems to be very powerful for the next 2 3 nights, so let us use that energy wisely. And today I like to get the reminder for this fullness, moodiness. Hope that's not only my personal experience, but if you noticing how come I feel so moody, anxious, you're not the only one. That's something that I can share. So let's check what would be good to be reminded for this full moon. So then we may be able to get some ideas and to sleep on that. By the way, it's very difficult to sleep for the last couple of nights. Of course, that we had a huge earthquake during the nighttime, so it's kind of suspicious about when the next one is going to come in. Perhaps it's coming there in the nighttime, so it's very alerting, and it's still emotionally need to process a lot, even to consciously practicing to practical to prepare for the self-defense or survival just in case. And then the connecting with you guys actually healing for me emotionally, like being connected, especially the other night. That's the gift of the earthquake, that because that happened during my really late night. Normally I don't do that broadcast, and they're in this time, and then different time zone friends or perhaps that able to connect in an unexpected way, but it was lovely to be able to connect in that way. So that really made me feel oneness and connected and supported. Hi Mel, happy full moon. Thank you for connecting. So thanks for connecting the other night. You are so late night that night. My 1 a.m. So it's like yours like a 2:30. And when are you sleeping, Mel? That was my personal curiosity, but I felt so connected and supported emotionally. Thank you. So today I just like to get a reminder from this card deck for the full moon reminder. Yeah. And and then I like to come back tomorrow sometimes during the day for ritual, the full moon ritual, to create the list, let go of, and then welcoming list, and then let this complete energy circle that we are co-creating. And today I like to put some little birds, the little one that I kept it at, to place it in the circle edge. So maybe I want to do that after this reminder. So yes, let's check what the flow, because something that I can share is at my end is very emotionally bumpy. Of course, it's the full moon, so emotionally being challenged. The emotion is the second energy center, Sakura chakra, color orange. It's a water sign. Emotions and water is connected to the moon. And the moon itself has a gravity. That's what I reminded yesterday. So that pull the water, that change the tide, and then of course influencing the Mother Earth and being part of Mother Earth, which is us as a human being, also being influenced by that water emotion. So it's natural to noticing it, but particularly this one. Because what's been happening in here as an man-made challenges in the society, and then also the earth-made shaking in my region. So it's a lot to become aware and process, encourage the process, I think. And maybe I will watch some comedy or something to initiate that laughter and joy, to sparkling that spirit, the joy from any kind of information that might help to resonating the joy energy within. Because it's just too much sad informations, and it's sometimes overwhelming. So shifting, uh, yeah. And then because of the news, need to get informed about what's happening, like a crisis situation for practical reasons. But these sad informations in the package, so it's very difficult to process, even not to so engaging into it, but take it as it is to process for better. And my remedy for this weekend, for this full moon, is the joy to stimulate for the sense of humor. Calling my friend who can share laughter, and then notice that she's taking a vacation to Italy, so not available for this weekend. But anyway, so that's my idea for this full moon. And then we're expecting equinox? Is that called equinox? Sunday. So here is the reminder for all of us. This full moon, it's the warm full moon, according to the specialist. Okay, so ah, living in society. Living in society. The seventh energy center, color purple, which is about consciousness, divine, higher self, if you like to use that word, and the life purpose. In conjunction with society, it's perfect because being part of society is really lessons that we all been experiencing since the COVID started about 2 years ago. Wow, it's almost 2 years. And then on top of that, and noticing how we are connected and how it's complex. It's not just a simple thing, but it's the very complex the way the little by little connected. So being part of the society member as an adult living in this linear time and be able to connect, we got a good idea. We have a power to shift our local to create something significant, you know. So that's my take. So okay, here is the reminder for this full moon fullness. Unhealthy thought first. Now that my children are growing, I didn't know what to do with my life. Now that my children are grown, I don't know what to do with my life. This is the metaphor. So if you don't have a children, then it could be your creative project or your work, your goals that accomplished certain levels, and then now what? You know, obviously needed reaching into the new cycle. Maybe that's something collectively noticing as an COVID. On top of that, another challenge. So means like people's attention is less on COVID, and then the new. And then here, my local is the earthquake. It's like it's all combo blending all this new challenges on top of everything. But we are becoming wiser and conquering the challenge, become stronger. So let's see. The healthy thought is every phase in my life brings its own unique joy and sense of purpose. Every phase in life brings its own unique joy and sense of purpose. So let's check what Dr. Monalisa needs to add on this. Living in society about the life purpose. Seventh Energy Center. Living in society. 74. Okay. So, okay. So, it's the dog. The world is constantly changing. What brings us joy and fulfillment during one time in our lives becomes boring and tiring later on because we change and evolves. On intent, our our interest and goals changes at every life stage, but sometimes it's hard to let go of what in the past was so fulfilling. One of the most common themes in women is going through the empty nest syndrome. From the 20s to her 40s, the woman's life joy and sense of purpose come from being married and having children. As soon as the children becomes teenagers, the woman began to experience an inner restlessness, malaise, and sadness. When her last child leaves the home to go to college, her mood plummets and her life seems dev- devoid of purpose. It's at this point that she needs to allow herself to feel the loss and grieve fully, and then move gratefully into the next phase of her life. Every time in our lives brings its own unique, every time in our lives what brings in its own unique sense of joy and purpose. Yeah, that's so true. That the season in here Japan is March is the ending the semester. It's weird cycle. So the graduation and the school, and then the new beginning from the April. And many businesses are taking the similar strange cycle as in March to complete the physical business year, and then April to start the new budgeting and beginning. So the March is graduating. So this full moon reminder is perfect. What do we like to graduate? Fullness, reaching into that point of graduation. Perhaps it could be the funeral to let go of that old you. Just like if you going to the school with the uniform, that's the time to let go of this familiar outfit, familiar uniform, familiar identity is reaching into the point deserving the graduation. So what would that be? That is a very good question for tonight under the full moon. Unfortunately, we have a rain here locally, so unable to see it and hoping to see the clear sky tomorrow. But I like to sleep on that too. This is the graduation, and also this energy circle is also from the winter time, holiday season to now. What we created, reached, and who we become as the person who wished for something and set the goal and created something. It's a good reminder for this fullness. And then I like to create that list tomorrow. So if you are open to, please get the pen and paper tomorrow and join me to create that list with a little bit of meditation and to maybe celebrate that celebration as a graduation and then new beginning. It's the preparation for upcoming 2022. It's the magical timing. Magical season is on our way. Maybe you are ending the summer season in Australia and Southern Hampshire. So it's the change, and it's good to take a moment to list that out for starting the new cycle together. So today's full moon reminder for all of us is the living in society, life purpose. Every phase in life brings its own unique joy and sense of purpose. Unhealthy thought. Now that my children are grown, I don't know what to do with my life. So ending is always sad. Like reunion, for example, like it's so exciting, and then at the point of bye, see you next time, ending is such an regardless of the magnitude or relatedness that we have. I think that's the human nature. When it's hard to let go and separate in any, even to our own creation, it's hard to let go of this no longer wearing clothes, for example. So take a moment and to make it as a ritual help. Autumn coming there. Yeah. So that's And again, that because of this challenges in society that we all share, mostly from the pandemic, and then also what happening in the up north, and we realize that how interconnected in the many levels, like our heart is aching for that, and the crying for the damages that we are seeing in many levels, in many ways. And then also the economy, that how we are connected, the value changes from that. And um, so, but we are actually multiple awareness is here. That actually got me think of when I was at my father's funeral, which was long time ago though. And then it's sad because of the loss of a family member, and then it's the grief, the tremendous amount of energy need to process for grief, to cry. And then at the same time, having the funeral as a ritual, and many friends came over, and then overwhelmed this, emotion and sadness. But on the other hand, at the same time, simultaneously, we create the laughter. Remember in some, experience we shared in the past, and then laugh at that. So that was my first experience, simultaneously roller coaster in emotions, like so sad and so enjoyable and fun and exciting, meeting the long times not seen friend came over, and it was like so mixture of this emotion, like that is really the process of change grief, and then it's all combined. It's not only the sadness. So that's a good reminder that we can experience those emotions simultaneously, and allow that to happen is natural human beingness. Because sometimes it's that if we are grieving and so sad, and you're the only one that created after enjoyed, and how come you're not so not considering with others, if you're coming from that community. It's like a community first kind of oneness based driven community. And then you need to hide your joy to being part of it. Well, of course there's an amana to be in certain way, but that doesn't mean that we need to shut down the joy and happiness, and this pleasure that is needed. So allow ourselves permission to enjoy that part. And then also there is a grief to process and healing, redirecting that to convert into something and share love. And that is also happening in at the same plate. And I think it's a good reminder for the full moon, especially the emotional time and weekend that we're going through. And then more opportunity to come close to the sad information on top of everything as an mutual flow. Even you removing it, and still energetically, empathically sensing it. So if you hard time noticing it, and it's just let us give ourselves permission to have some joy and laughter, ideal with friends to share, and then balancing it out, so then we can embody more hope, and then that would boost the purpose with the dedication to create. I'm talking to myself, just in case. So, and then but I feel I'm not the only one. Good to be reminded the fact that. So yeah, it's very right. Yeah, and then sometimes we forget about it's so sad, and then disallowing the light, or maybe not deserving to have fun and joy, but and then intuitively I get the particular moments that my father's funeral popping up back very fresh. That was the emotional, and then I think that's part of us human processing the grief, the loss of something very major, family members, um, transition, and then what to do with this emotion. So let us be a human being, not repressing this part. So the specialist was telling that because the children evacuated from the damaged area is now become so, like like became numb. That's understandable, numbness, and unable to speak out because it's just shocking, and then processing what's happening. That's psychologically natural reaction to that environment. And then according to that neuroscientist, that and then sooner or later they started to process and express, and then talk about it, or maybe to play with that, to like kidding or whatever that they need to process. And then that's the opportunity that adult is being tested by children, that hold the word, don't do that, to remembering it. Because remembering is part of the process. That's also our self bettering process also. That's why when we're reaching into the remembering the past to coming up, and then before healing, that is a very uncomfortable feeling. And how come you're doing for this uncomfortable things for self bettering? Many are complaining about that during the process, but that's needed to get into that core essence, to transform it, become aware of it. And pressing that energy is unhealthy. That pressed energy is stored in somewhere, a body or somewhere. Instead of storing it, just to let that out and then release. So then we can move on, and the children is needing the process. So as an adult, got to hold the space and allow them cry. The same as my father's funeral, we just masking all this sadness and this disallowing crying, and then just repressed and needed to cry out. It took me like over 10 years for me to heal that. But anyway, so it's important to hold the space and allow them cry, allow them talk about, allow them pray, to remembering that something really traumatically came to the experience. So that's a good professional reminder for human psyche, to what we as an adult can do for children. Allow them cry, allow them process, hold a space and cry together, because it is the right thing to do to processing the grief. So what what I'm saying is, and then yeah, the full moon is emotionally so charged, and that's good to do that. Transition is really hard. Yes. So, would you like to pick the reminder for this full moon, Mel, perhaps for yourself? Thank you, eyeballs, from connecting. Happy full moon. Happy, or yeah, it's a full moon. Would you like to pick the number, Mel? full moon reminder to process. Sure. 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the reminder for this full moon for male. Interesting. The crown chakra, seventh energy center, same as a collective reminder. Healthy joy. Healthy joy. The seventh energy center, crown chakra, color purple. Very resonated. Unhealthy thought first, and then a healthy thought, and then let me go scan your energy and come up with this full moon reminder. Might be helpful for you, Mel, to meditate. So the unhealthy thought, joy, by the way, is the basic human 5 emotions: love, joy, fear, anger, and sadness. So it's the positive, highest frequency of the energy. Joy, love, and joy is the higher frequency in conjunction with the life, purpose, and consciousness. Unhealthy thought is, I don't know what my personal dreams and life purpose are. I tend to get my joy through my family and friends. Very empath kind of way of seeing, connecting. And the healthy thought is, as I pursue happiness through my dreams and life purpose, I give birth to the unrealized potential within me, the unlimited splendor of my soul. Whoa, that's a good one. I don't think no extra insight is needed for this reminder for this full moon, Mel. I feel that this is a very pivotal point for you to finally reaching into the enoughness, the mature enoughness for the new chosen experience. And this full moon, it's gonna get you back, you know. It says like, I gotcha for this cycle, you know. So congratulations, and just to embodying that, clarifying that what to let go, and affirming that you've been doing with the fresh eye could be really good for this tonight under the full moon. And then let's do that writing tomorrow together if you have an opportunity to connect. Thank you for allowing. Thank you. This is something about joy. It's really life purpose and joy, and it's been hard to connect into that next excitement, especially if you are happy with what you've been surrounded and need a muscle to desire more or better. And perhaps that we can use this challenges as a new opportunity or a new way to look at that connection to own the soul's urge in the linear time. What would be the most enjoyable, being useful and exciting wholeheartedly, and give it a meaning to our heart and for others, and being part of this unity, oneness. That's a that's a good way to use these challenges for stimulating some new idea for deepening that connection to the soul's urge. Yay! So these are the birds that I was making it here and here. So if uh, and normally I start the new circle, energy circle, on the new moon. But maybe it's good to start this weekend as an equinox. Oh, thank you. Mm, yes. So that it's very timely that maybe they're purposefully sharing that as an in conjunction with this full moon. But the moon is cold. Yeah, the moon is connected to gravity and the water, and without the moon actually the earth is spinning quicker. It used to be the moon was closer to the earth. That's what I learned yesterday. When the moon born, it was more closer to the earth, so it took a major role with the gravity and pulling all this energy. So the water was tide was significantly influenced by the moon. So no wonder these people are using moon as a calendar. And then many of the creature on earth is resonating to using the moon cycle as the evolving as a species. So many creatures use the moon cycle as an shedding or changing. And then there's a study that to growing the plants, the green plants or flowers, tomato, according to the moon cycle and water in the moon cycle, not the sun daylight sun schedule. And the moon changes like 50 minutes each day. So changing 50 minutes a day, and then just the cycle, everyday cycle is completely changed. And then some plants grow faster and some animals being fed according to the moon cycle every day, but not the sun daylight, but the moon cycle. And then some animals grow faster and then become bigger, as a turtle grew as a 1.6 times bigger than the others normally fed in a schedule. It's like, wow, something mystical still about the moon power. So I am hoping that this crane, origami crane, is a peace embodiment. And also for love, harmony. Yeah, another one is that harmony is really important, I think. Harmonization with elements, but starting with self. And I noticed that especially for empath, because the knowing sensitively around the world, person, or environment, and then it's easy get lost, like, is this my voice or his voice or her voice or their voice? So it's very crucial to start with within self, and then confirming that, oh, this is me, and this is coming from me, little me, individual, and harmonizing self. And it's otherwise you just playing with someone else's energy and then harmonizing with that. So means like your feet is not fully connected to your soul's urge. The individuality, the uniqueness needs to be there. And then we can get the benefit of diversity. Unless otherwise we just becoming the same, you know. That is not ideal. The world of sameness. The shared mutual element, which is love, joy, peace, harmony, but not the. You got to have a uniqueness. I mean, we are unique, so got to embody that and to share, and that's our individual job, to share. The birds, the angle is kind of weird, so I think I'm gonna put this here. It's getting dark. Oh, by the way, luckily the earthquake damage was minimum, so that's good news among the challenges. There we go. The last piece. Okay. So this is the energy circle, the player of the reaching into the full moon. And happy full moon, everybody. Thank you for joining, the play viewers, and from Twitter's, YouTube. If you are from YouTube, amazing. Thank you for noticing and supporting. And I will come back tomorrow to do some full moon ritual, to do the graduations, and to set the clarification for the next welcoming list. So please join if you are open to get the pen and paper ready, and let's do that and connect with one energy. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful evening, day. Happy full moon. I see you when I see you, and thank you for sharing on Twitters and Leave the Heart. I truly appreciate your connection, support, always, always. Happy full moon. Bye.